Hey up, it's Steve from the old Yorkshire Geek. A little bit early, 2 minutes early. Don't really matter, does it? There's no buggers watching. Right, so, a full news thing today. I've got quite a few stories to get through, so we'll just get into it.
You just throw up the title and get on with it.
Right. We'll get into it when I find my bloody thing. I should organise all my list of I don't know what they call them. Thingamabobs. There we go. Things that do stuff like that. Right. So first off, bit of sad news. You might think, what's this got to do with, sci-fi, fantasy and all that? But it's Wolfgang Petersen, he did all that kind of stuff. Wolfgang Petersen, director of Das Boot and Air Force One, dies aged 81, and there he is. I won't read all this. You might think, what's Das Boot and Air Force One got to do with, sci-fi and all that. But remember, he did direct a great film in the 80s, 1985's Enemy Mine, starring Dennis Quaid and Louis Gossett Jr. Great film, which I haven't seen for years. I'm going to have to dig it out and give it another watch. I've got the book. The book is better than the film, the novelisation. Goes into a lot more detail of the Drac Society and all that. And how they consider humans slave eaters because we eat meat that we've raised on farms. They consider us, we eat slaves, whereas on the Drac homeworld, they hunt all their meat. So it's got a fair chance of escaping. Anyway, that's by the by. What else has he done? His first English language film was Never Ending Story, which is a fantasy. It's a film I never really got into, but, my son loves it. I think he likes all the others as well, but they weren't directed by Wolfgang Petersen. And he did Troy, which, I suppose it can be classed as a historical epic, but it's more of a fantasy, and it's more based on the heroic poetry of whoever wrote it. Was it Homer or, I don't know, who wrote the Iliad and all that. That Troy were based on. But that's another great film. And of course, he did Das Boot, Air Force One, In the Line of Fire. What else? And that's all I can think of. Oh, yes, Outbreak, another great film. A bit sci-fi, but terrifying about that disease. And anyway, he's died of pancreatic cancer at home in the company of his wife, Maria Borgel Petersen. So 81, another one that's died in his 80s. So, as I keep saying, I hope I live to be 80. But we'll see. But there he is with Clint Eastwood in The Line of Fire. It's a good film, is that? But there we go. So very sad. Another one gone. Another legend gone. Oh, he did the Poseidon remake, didn't he? Which I didn't mind. It's not a patch on the original. The remake, I think it had Richard Dreyfuss in, didn't it? But I can't remember who else. But the original's better, but, he considered it a misstep, which I suppose it was. Speaking of missteps, The Flash star Ezra Miller seeking treatment for complex mental health issues. You might already know about this. There it is. They found the only picture where he looks kind of normal. But what's normal, you might say? Yeah, well, not making yourself look like a tit. That's normal. Says me in my rock and roll cap. Right, the Flash star Ezra Miller says they is a he. He's a he. He's not a they. He's a they when it suits him. That's what it boils down to, isn't it? He's not really, he's not transgender. He's not binary. He's not all this. He just says it when it suits him. So he's a he. So I'm going to say he from now on. So shit to him. The Flash star Ezra. Oh, got mad then. The Flash star Ezra Miller says he is seeking treatment. To me, it says they are. I mean, there's a bloody plural, isn't it? There's only one of him. He is seeking treatment for complex mental health issues. There, look there. In a statement provided to Variety by a representative of the actor, Miller broke their silence about the troubling behaviour that they have exhibited in recent years, which has led to a series of legal issues and assault and abuse allegations, where he chokes people and throws chairs at them and pulls guns on people and threatens to kill them. Miller also apologised for his actions. Having recently, this is a quote, having recently gone through a time of intense crisis, in other words, he's been charged with felony burglary. That's his intense crisis, He's got to, what's the word? My brain. He's got to account for his actions. That's what he's got to do for the first time. Anyway, having recently gone through a time of intense crisis, I now understand that I am suffering. If it's saying there's a they, them, he should say we are suffering, it's like a bog. I now understand that I am suffering complex mental health issues and have begun ongoing treatment, Miller says. I want to apologise to everyone that I have alarmed and upset with my past behaviour. I am committed to doing the necessary work to get back to a healthy, safe and productive stage in my life. And if you think he wrote that, as I said on Twitter, I've got a bridge in London, that I can sell you. Cash in advance. Take your pick, any of them. Any of them will do. Except for Tower Bridge. We'll keep that one. But any of the others you can have. If you believe he wrote that, and and it's sincere, because it isn't. He's had an ultimatum from Zaslav, hasn't he? Basically, that's what it is. Zaslav said, "Look, we've cancelled Batgirl. We can cancel The Flash. It'll cost us money, but it'll cost you money as well, sunshine. Your career's over. We're not asking you back." Anyway, the embattled actor, who is non-binary, and uses they-them pronouns when it suits him, played the DC Comics character Barry Allen in 2017's Justice League and its 2021 counterpart Zack Snyder's Justice League. But his role in the comic book franchise has been overshadowed by his off-screen behaviour, which has alarmed friends and associates of the actor, as well as Warner Brothers, the studio behind The Flash. Most recently, Miller was charged with felony burglary in Vermont after state police investigated an incident involving several bottles of alcohol being taken from a residence while the homeowners were not present. The actor made headlines in 2020 after a recording surfaced in which he appeared to be choking a woman outside of a bar in Iceland. There's also these rumours that he had this cult going on in Iceland. What a freak. No charges were filed. The actor has been arrested twice in Hawaii this year, once for disorderly conduct and harassment. In the Hawaii incidents, Miller pled no contest to a single count of misdemeanor disorderly conduct and paid a $500 fine and $30 in court costs. I bet he had that, found it at the bottom of his pocket. The harassment charge was dismissed. The series of scandals has become a snowballing public relations issue, not only for Miller, but also for Warner Brothers Discovery, which has employed the actor across two of its cornerstone franchises, DC Comics films and the Harry Potter spin-off series, Fantastic Beasts. Bloody Johnny Depp got let go. For something that is being found not guilty of. In America, a source close to the studio says that Warner Brothers supports Miller's decision to seek professional help. Yeah, because they told him to. They want his idea. The Flash is set to open in theatres on June 23rd, 2023, and reportedly serves as a key entry in the studio's DC comic films, featuring appearances by Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton as Batman, or Batmen, Batmans, whatever. And it's supposed to be good, from all accounts. They've done some screenings, and it's supposed to be a jolly good film. Just adjusting me. There we go. Might be a bit louder now, unless I'm blowing. Hello to the alien and the Ring of Power. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So Ezra Miller is a freak, and they should have sacked him, and they should reshoot it. They should say, no, we've had enough of your shenanigans. We don't care. You're out of here. Reshoot him. Get somebody else in. They did it with Solo, didn't they? Lucasfilm were prepared to lose money. Disney weren't. But Lucasfilm were. Anyway, that's enough of him. Right. Star Trek. Strange New World Season 2's Spock and Kirk meeting is a big moment. According to Star Trek Strange New World's showrunner, Henry Alonso Myers, Kirk and Spock's first meeting is going to be a big moment. You just said that in the title. I said this all the time. I hate it when they repeat the title in the subtitle. And they'll probably repeat it again. It is, they repeat it again in the bloody first line, first sentence. Just laziness. That's what it is. Oh, there's Spock from bloody Discovery, innit? With the crappy... Oh, God, I hate him. Kirk and Spock's first meeting in Star Trek Strange New Worlds is going to be a big moment. I've just said 3 times. According to showrunners, Strange New Worlds is the 11th television series in the Star Trek franchise. Ooh, see, I've got to work that out now. Original series, Next Generation, or animated series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery, what else? What comes to Discovery? Lower Decks, Prodigy, Strange New Worlds. Well, there's one missing. What's the missing one? I'm only up to 10. So they're wrong. Are they wrong? Have I missed one out? Start again. Original series, animated series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, yeah, Discovery, yeah, Lower Decks. Oh, Picard. Forgot about Picard, didn't I? Lower Decks, Prodigy, Picard, Strange New Worlds, yeah. So they're right. I'm going to let them off. Because Picard were crap. Well, that's all with Discovery. But Strange New Worlds is good. Right, Strange New Worlds is the 11th television series in the Star Trek franchise and is a spin-off of the highly successful Star Trek Discovery. It depends who you ask about that. Strange New Worlds follows Captain... I mean, Netflix didn't think it were successful, did they? They wouldn't have let it go. But anyway, Strange New Worlds follows Captain Christopher Pike and the crew of the USS Enterprise approximately 10 years before the events of Star Trek, the original series. The series holds the title of Paramount's most-watched Star Trek series debut and was recently nominated for an Emmy Award. It's good, though. I like Strange New Worlds. By the way, this is on Screen Rant. As usual, all the links are in the description box below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, and subscribe, and like, and share the videos, and hit the notification bell, and subscribe. And drop a comment, and join the live chat if you come in. You haven't heard me like I said this, because there's nobody here again. Never mind. Ooh, stomach gurgled. I forgot where we were now. As a spin-off series, many Discovery characters also appeared in Strange New Worlds, namely Anson Mount's Captain Pike and Ethan Peck's Spock. Peck's iteration of the iconic Vulcan has been praised by critics and fans alike. He was alright in Strange New Worlds, he was rubbish in Discovery. And both Discovery and Strange New Worlds have allowed Spock to be explored as a character in different ways from the original series. Yeah, in Discovery they made him... he had a learning disability, didn't they? I like science. You know. I hate it. He looked good in a beard, I must admit. When he had his beard, he looked good. And then he shaved it off and looked like, I don't know, it looked awful. Well, he looked like that. Anyway, I forgot where I was now. In the season 1 finale, Paul Wesley's James T. Kirk was introduced briefly in the whole episode just about, with the promise that viewers would be seeing more of Kirk in Season 2. This left them eager to see Kirk and Spock's first interaction together. But obviously he won't be Captain, will he, in Season 2? We saw him as Captain of the Farragut, didn't we, in the last episode, the Season 1 finale, which, I've got to be honest, I wasn't keen on. It had Kurtzman's mucky fingerprints all over it. But anyway, I hope Season 2. I hope he hasn't got his mucky fingerprints all over Season 2. Bet he has. I bet he makes it. Oh. But we'll see. In an interview with TV Line, Strange New Worlds co-showrunner Henry Alonso Myers admitted that Kirk and Spock's first meeting is going to be big. Myers says that because Kirk and Spock's relationship is so fleshed out in other iterations of Star Trek, setting the groundwork for their friendship, well, it is relationship as well, isn't easy. Myers also says that Kirk isn't the person most fans know him to be, and that Strange New Worlds could show him before he becomes the iconic figure most audiences love. Oh. They're going to make him bisexual, aren't they? They've threatened this. He's going to be bisexual, and then by the time original series rolls round, he's not anymore for some reason. Read Myers' full comment below. We think about it every day, in the moment when they finally meet. We absolutely make a big moment of it and hope people will enjoy what we come up with. Though Kirk and Spock have a close connection by the time of the original series, the rebooted Star Trek film series explored a reality in which the two were enemies before they were friends. Well, they were crap as well. Bloody JJ. Was it? Does Doomcock call J.J. Abrams cinematic antichrist? He is. He's a menace. He's a menace. Both at cinema and on TV. I mean, his shadow looms. Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings. What else? What else has he got his fingers in? Oh, well, Warner stuff. Superman. Ooh, Mission Impossible. Which are actually decent films. Where were we? While Kirk and Spock eventually become close, their relationship had a rocky start. However, with the reboot Star Trek movie series taking place in a separate timeline from the original series, Strange New Worlds has the chance to imagine a different beginning to their storied friendship. Viewers have been speculating on what Kirk and Spock's first meeting in the prime timeline might look like since Wesley appeared in Strange New Worlds Season 1. And the showrunners know that this scene is heavily anticipated. With Star Trek... Come here. Oh, for God's sake. There you go. Hang on. Can you see that? There we go. With Star Trek having branched out to include different timelines and realities, Strange New Worlds has the opportunity to explore characters and their relationships in a way no other Star Trek show has been able to do. Kirk and Spock's close relationship was a highlight of the original series, and it seems impossible to imagine a series that includes both Kirk and Spock without the two meeting. And yet people say, if you look in the Star Trek The Motion Picture novelisation, there's a little like appendix thing, a little note that Gene Roddenberry put in, although I'm sure it was Alan Dean Foster that wrote that book. But anyway, Ghost wrote it. But anyway, a little note about Kirk and Spock's relationship, where it not only means friend, the Vulcan term for I can't remember what it was for their friendship, also could mean love. So even back in 1979, they were sowing the seeds. But they want lovers. They want lovers. They were friends. You can be friends with a bloke. My best mate's a bloke. My God, I don't want to be his lover. Sorry, Ed, but it's true. If you're watching, you're just my mate. Right, anyway, where was I forgot where, wasn't I? All right, as audiences eagerly await this big moment, they can rest assured knowing that the Star Trek Strange New Worlds showrunners understand how important Kirk and Spock's initial meeting is to both the Star Trek universe and to dedicated fans, and will treat it as such. There we go. It's going to be big. What does that mean, big? So what's going to happen now? They're going to meet for the first time in season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I presume he's going to be on the Farragut. He's been on 2, hasn't he, as James T. Kirk. He's been on the Republic and the Farragut, and I can't remember which. I think the Farragut was the one just before the Enterprise, wasn't it? The one he took command of. I think the captain was killed or whatever, or incapacitated. Kirk took command, didn't he? And that's how he ended up becoming the youngest Starfleet captain in history at that time. So I think he might have been like an ensign on the Republic. But he was Lieutenant Kirk on the Farragut. Anyway, right, so what's next? We'll stick with Star Trek, sort of. William Shatner can't stop talking about his trek to the stars. There he is, because he went up on Jeff Bezos's penis-shaped rocket, didn't he? In October of last year, Star Trek icon William Shatner went where no actor had gone before. When he was shot into space. I mean, only just about. Shot into space aboard, I'm just jealous, aboard Blue Origin's NS-18 rocket. Shatner, known worldwide as Captain James T. Kirk, commander of the USS Enterprise, was 90 years old at the time, making him the oldest person to take a voyage to the stars. He didn't go to the stars. He went, what was it, about 110 miles or something like that, isn't it? Just classes as space. Right, the flight in October was delayed a day due to weather, but when it did blast off, Shatner was aboard with a crew of 4, including Shatner, Blue Origin's Vice President of Mission and Flight Operations, Audrey Powers, former NASA engineer Chris Bushelsson, and Vice Chair for Life Sciences and Healthcare at Dassault Systems, Glenn DeVries. Sadly, DeVries was killed in a plane crash just a month later. NS-18, NS means New Shepard, named after Alan Shepard, the astronaut. The first American in space, although he wasn't the first American to orbit the Earth, that was John Glenn. And I think the next iteration of their ship is called the New Glenn, I do believe. Anyway, New Shepard 18 launched into the wild blue yonder on October 13th, 2021 from Blue Origin's West Texas launch site. Upon its return, Shatner, who you can watch performing a spoken word version of Elton Johnson's, it's not related, Elton John's Rocket Man Below, there he is, Rocket Man. God. He's just take it piss, isn't he? Take it piss. And he's good at it. Was overcome with emotion and moved to tears as he spoke to Blue Origin's founder, Jeff Bezos. "It's so thin," he exclaimed, attempting to describe his journey through the Earth's atmosphere, "and you're through it in an instant." The flight itself only lasted 10 minutes and 17 seconds, because it's like a parabolic arc. They just go up and come back down again. But it left an impression. Shatner told Bezos that he was overwhelmed by sadness and empathy for this beautiful thing we called Earth. He went on to describe the experience as indescribable and the most profound experience I can imagine, recommending everyone in the world needs to do this. Yeah, if you got like, what is it, $250,000 or something to spare. It might be more, I don't know. Shatner appeared in conversation with filmmaker Kevin Smith at this year's San Diego Comic-Con, and the subject of the actor's spaceflight came up. "I went and I vowed that every moment that I spent in space would not be playing around with weightlessness, but looking out the window, trying to get an impression," Shatner said, according to The Hollywood Reporter. And there he is looking out the window. And I bet it's amazing. I mean, I've been in a plane, and that's as close as I've been to space. So, and looking out the windows of a plane can be pretty amazing, to be honest. So imagine how amazing it is at 100 miles up. He seems to have honoured that vow. A video taken during the flight shows him gazing at the Earth in awe through the vessel's viewport. "When I went up there," he told the Times in an August interview, "and I could see the curvature of the Earth and the vast blackness surrounding it. It really hit home how much we don't know and how we're gambling with our planet." So I'm not pausing because I'm pausing because Princess the cat has started meowing. She's heard me talking. She knows I'm doing something. So now she wants attention. She can wait. She can wait. The 91-year-old Shatner has 3 daughters, Leslie, Elizabeth and Melanie. Star Trek fans may remember Leslie and Elizabeth as 2 of the little girls in the original series Season 1 episode Miri. Between the 3 girls, he has at least 4 grandchildren, 2 boys and 2 girls, at least. Is he not sure? The kids thought their granddad's trip into the void of space was so cool, but his daughters were worried about the dangers of space travel and tried to persuade him not to go. I'm going to have to see to her, so I'll be back in a second. I'll hit the be right back thing, so just give me a second. I'm back. Oh, we'll be in a minute. There we go, I'm back. She's gone outside as Princess. Sorry about that. I'll just have a little drink of me. I'm trying this Tango. What is it? Dark berry, and it's very nice. Very tangy. Hey, where were we? Right. Shatner returned safe, but with concerns of his own, not for himself, but for his own descendants. I couldn't help but think about the terrible burden that Clive, my 2-year-old great-grandchild, is facing when he gets older. I know Clive, it's a good name, but, it's a bit old-fashioned, isn't it? Sorry, Clive, brother-in-law, and Clive, nephew, but I'm digging a hole for myself as usual. Anyway, he told the Times, referring to humans' disregard for the planet. It's a fine name. Ignore me, it's a fine name. The profound effect left on William Shatner by his Star Trek. See what they said? They said it, look. I should have that thing of Peter Griffin. I said it. Or is it Homer that says it? He said the title. Seems to have lingered. Perhaps he's right. If everybody on planet Earth were able to spend 10 minutes in space, would it change the way they look at their home? No, because people are idiots. Either way, the actor's perspective seems to have shifted, and he can't stop talking about it. Head on over to the Times to read the rest of their interview, and there's a link there, so if you want to follow it. As I said, the link's in the description, so give it a read. Right, let's move on. But before we do, a lot of people that go into space, astronauts, these are technically classed as astronauts. When you go up on the New Shepard, you get your astronaut wings, don't you? So you're technically classed as an astronaut, even though you're just live cargo, aren't you? You're not actually doing anything. But a lot of astronauts, they get a lot of them tend to become a little bit religious, don't they? After going into space, it opens your mind up to all sorts of possibilities. And rightly so. Should hope it does. Right, Jon Favreau. We're on Star Wars now. Jon Favreau wants George Lucas to cameo in The Mandalorian. And there's George Lucas, look. Gone downhill, hasn't he? Since his retirement. I know, it's Baby Yoda. Sorry, Grogu. Right, we've had many cameos in Star Wars over the years, ranging from Simon Pegg as an alien in The Force Awakens. What was his name? I can't remember. He played that fella that were horrible to Rey. Pardon me. And in the deleted scene, gets his arm ripped off by Chewbacca. They should have put that in. At Maz Kanata's castle. What was his name? No, it's gone. Anyway, never mind. To Tom Hardy as a stormtrooper in The Last Jedi. And Daniel Craig as that stormtrooper in Force Awakens. There's one appearance the creators of The Mandalorian would love to get, though. George Lucas, the creator of the science fiction movie franchise. In a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, Jon Favreau, creator of The Mandalorian, spoke about his ideal special guest, George Lucas. That would be the best cameo, he says. Since selling Lucasfilm to Disney in the early 2010s, Lucas has kept his distance from a long, long time ago, attending Star Wars Celebration on occasional. Oh, bloody roads, digital fix. On occasion, not on occasional. Dave Filoni, who's worked on Star Wars series since the Clone Wars in the early 2000s, has had a long, close relationship with Lucas over a galaxy far, far away. Drinking game. He states having Lucas on set would be something heretofore unimaginable. Heretofore. And they're from the Victorian times. They'll be saying whilst and havst next. He'd have to be the son of Baron Papanoida. Oh, that's who he appeared as in Revenge of the Sith. Is it Revenge of the Sith? One of the prequels. Or something like that, he says. I don't know. I wouldn't even speculate on that. It's hard for me to imagine what that day would be like. It's not entirely out of the realm of possibility, since Lucas has been on set for the sci-fi series. However, going from dropping by to becoming Star Wars canon is a big leap. It was already Star Wars canon, isn't it? As we just said, Baron Papanoida. But there's that famous photo, isn't there, of him on the Mandalorian set. He's sat down. I think he's got a coffee in his hand. He always has coffee in his hand, doesn't he? Or a drink. And he's like he's talking to Jon Favreau, and I think Dave Filoni's there as well. And lurking behind them is KK, Kathleen Kennedy. Anyway, well, he's been on the set when Dave's been directing, so I love watching Dave and George together, Favreau says. George, I have tremendous respect for. I've been very fortunate to have great conversations where I've learned a lot. You just learn, faster with more intensity. That's all George wants, isn't it? Right now, we're still waiting to hear about the Mandalorian Season 3 release date and the Ahsoka release date. Andor is next up, starting on Disney Plus September 21st. The Mandalorian Season 4 is reportedly in production already. That's plenty of opportunity for Lucas to make a sneaky appearance. Don't count on it, though. One thing you can count on is Star Wars opinions on the internet. Check out our ranking of the Star Wars movies, and there's a link. So is that it? Yeah, that's it. So there we go. So Jon Favreau, that's not him, wants George Lucas in The Mandalorian. And I won't be surprised if he appears. And finally, Han Solo's blaster from the original Star Wars heading to auction. And there it is. Original Han Solo DL-44 heavy blaster, courtesy of Rock Island Auction Company. And a Harrison Ford signed photo. Does that come with it? Don't know. But we saw in Solo that it was Woody Harrelson that made it, wasn't it? It's not like put it together and tossed it to Han Solo, didn't it? That's canon. Right, the Force will need to be strong for any Star Wars fans later this month if they want to land one of the sci-fi series' greatest pieces of memorabilia. A blaster that Harrison Ford's Han Solo carried throughout the first Star Wars film in 1977 could fetch up to $500,000 at an auction later this month. I bet it goes for more. The item from the 1977 classic was previously considered missing, and new prop blasters were built for The Empire Strikes Back 1980 and Return of the Jedi 1983. The replacement carried by Ford in The Return of the Jedi sold at auction for $550,000 in 2018. So I said it'd probably go for more than $500,000 because this is the original, isn't it? according to Rock Island Auction Company, an Illinois-based auction house specialising in firearms. It's not firearms, is it? For the lower-budget original film, director George Lucas, set decorator Roger Christian, and production designer John Barry decided to use small components from available surplus weapons at Bapty & Co., a London-based prop house that provided all of the prop weapons for the film to create a used future weapon. Like I said, the Stormtrooper blasters were made from old World War II, like machine guns and stuff, weren't they? Don't ask me which ones, I can't remember. I've read it, but I can't remember which ones. Anyway, it resulted in the Blastech DL-44 heavy blaster, which was used to spring Solo out of several scrapes and was strapped to his thigh at the film's famous conclusion. The auction house will feature Blastech DL-44 heavy blaster, accompanied by a Han Solo photograph signed by Ford. Oh, yes, it does come with it. In a sale taking place from August 24th to 26th, with a pre-sale estimate between $300,000 and $500,000 US. The blaster is only one of 3 blank-firing blasters created for Han Solo, and the only one still known to survive, Joel Collender, a manager at Rock Island Auction Company, said in an email. The pistol was a huge hit at San Diego's Comic-Con in July and has been creating quite the buzz among fans and collectors. Another highlight of the 2085 lot sale will be a pair of pistols wielded by Angelina Jolie in the 2001 film Lara Croft Tomb Raider, which I really like, with a pre-sale estimate between $25,000 and $45,000 US. And there's a comment, all right, somebody said something. Kind of funny that the Space Blaster of the future looks to be a gussied up C96 Mauser pistol, which they stopped making in the 1930s. I bet you're a barrel of laughs, Patrick. Jesus Christ. Right, that's it. How long we been on for? 37 minutes. Can we do a bit more? Let's do a bit more. Right, go to Sci-Fi News. See if we can find anything new. Sci-fi movie deaths we're still recovering from. Nah. The Expanse is an engaging sci-fi. It's just a review. She-Hulk, that starts tomorrow, doesn't it, She-Hulk? I hope it's good. I've heard that it could actually be quite good. It's been panned a lot by critics and stuff from the trailers and stuff, but some people who've actually seen it, I think they might have seen the first 4 episodes, have actually said it's better than you might expect. So fingers crossed, I hope it's good. I'll be doing a review, I should imagine. There's note, is there? There's note. Nothing that's piquing me interest. It's all lists, isn't it? It's all lists. So what we'll do, I will just go to, where's me Google News? Let's just go to Google, and we'll go to News. Where are you? It's there, Google News. And we'll look for some sciencey stuff, We'll geek out on a bit of science. There we go. Sciencey news, right. Ooh, Impact Crater, maybe Dinosaur Killer's baby cousin. Ooh, right, let's have a look at that one. You see, yeah, Impact Crater, maybe Dinosaur Killer's baby cousin from an hour ago. So there we go, topical. And there's a picture of a T-Rex looking at, it's not going to be there very long, is it? Looking at the impact of, I presume it's the Chicxulub meteor, or asteroid. Anyway, when an asteroid slammed into what is now the Gulf of Mexico 66 million years ago, I don't think it was then, was it? Wiping out the dinosaurs, did it have a companion? Was Earth bombarded on that terrible day by more than one space rock? The discovery of what seems to be a second impact crater on the other side of the Atlantic of a very similar age, oh, excuse me, that pop, is raising these questions. It's not as big as the one we know at Chicxulub in Mexico, but it still speaks to a catastrophic event. Dubbed Nadir Crater, nadir is actually, that means like the opposite side, doesn't it? That's the nadir. The new feature sits more than 300 metres below the seabed, some 400 kilometres off the coast of Guinea, West Africa. We're going to see a map in a minute. With a diameter of 8.5 kilometres, it's likely the asteroid that created it was a little under half a kilometre across. Oh, that's where we're looking at. So that's the coast there. Can you see? That's the coast there, Guinea. And there it is, under the sea. Under the sea. It's not a photo, obviously. Right, the hidden depression was identified by Dr. Wisdeen Nicholson from Heriot-Watt University, Edinburgh, UK. Yay! He'd been analysing seismic survey data, looking for somewhere to drill to better understand past climatic changes on Earth. Yeah, looking for oil. Such surveys, frequently obtained by oil and gas prospectors, record the different layers of rock and sediment underground, often to a depth of several kilometres. These surveys are kind of like an ultrasound of the Earth. I've spent probably the last 20 years interpreting them, but I've never seen anything like this, he told BBC News. Nadia's shape is diagnostic of an asteroid impact. It's got a raised rim surrounding a central uplift area and then layers of debris that extend outwards. The asteroid that created the Chicxulub crater in the Gulf of Mexico is estimated to have been about 12 kilometres across. It gouged out a 200-kilometre wide depression and in the process set off mighty earth tremors, tsunamis and a global firestorm. So much dusty material was thrown into the sky that Earth was plunged into a deep freeze. The dinosaurs couldn't ride out the climate shock. By comparison, the effects from a Nadia-sized impactor would have been much smaller. Our simulations suggest this crater was caused by the collision of a 400-metre wide asteroid in 500 to 800 metres of water, explained Dr. Veronica Bray from the University of Arizona, US. This would have generated a tsunami over 1 kilometre high, as well as an earthquake of magnitude 6.5 or so. The energy released would have been around 1,000 times greater than that from the January 2022 eruption and tsunami in Tonga. And also, don't forget, the sense on the other side of the Atlantic from Chicxulub, but remember, the Atlantic was a lot narrower back then, 65 million years ago. So Africa, this plate will be much closer, so it'll be much closer to, it's probably been over here somewhere. Not that makes any difference, I'm just showing off. And this is just some bullet points about the Chicxulub crater, 12 kilometres wide, blah, blah, blah. Mexico's famous sinkholes, cenotes, I don't know how to pronounce that, are formed in the weakened limestone overlying the craters. There you go. Oh, with more. Dr. Nicholson's team, where are you going, has to be cautious about tying the two impacts together. Nadia has been given a very similar date to Chicxulub based on an analysis of fossils of known age that were drilled from a nearby borehole. Well, why couldn't it? There could have been two asteroids. There were two asteroids in Armageddon, weren't there? And there were two in Deep Impact, although admittedly there were two because they made a mess of it, didn't they? They blew it up and just made two instead of but whatever. I forgot where I was now. But to make a definitive statement, rocks in the crater itself would need to be pulled up and examined. This would also confirm Nadia is indeed an asteroid impact structure and not some other unrelated feature caused by, for example, ancient volcanism. The idea that Earth may have been hit by large space rocks in the past is not a new one, and people have already speculated that the impactor that created Baltish crater in Ukraine, they'll blame the Russians, may also be related to the Chicxulub event in some way. Its age is not too dissimilar. We probably got hit by a cloud of asteroids, didn't we? It were the Goa'uld, it were Anubis, up to his old tricks, but 65 million years ago. Professor Sean, that's Stargate. Professor Sean Gulick, who co-led the recent project to drill into the Chicxulub crater, said Nadia might have fallen to Earth on the same day, or it might have struck the planet 1 million or 2 years either side of the Mexican cataclysm. Scientists will only know for sure when rocks from the West African crater are inspected in the lab. A much smaller cousin or sister doesn't necessarily add to what we know about the dinosaurs' extinction, but it does add to our understanding of the astronomical event that was Chicxulub. And the University of Texas at Austin researcher told BBC News. Was this a breakup of a parent body that had multiple fragments that hit Earth over time? Was Chicxulub a double asteroid where a smaller object orbited a bigger one? There are interesting questions to pursue, because to learn that Chicxulub might have this extra excitement of a second crater at the same time changes the story a little bit about how Chicxulub came to be. The nadir crater feature is reported in the Journal of Science Advances, or Journal of whatever. I'll put the link in the description. And there's rock layers that mark the dinosaurs' demise. Right, so that's the age of the mammals, up to there. Asteroid strike 66 million years ago is there. So we've got there's one of these layers got iridium in, probably. And Cretaceous, the K period, age of dinosaurs. So there you go. Very interesting. See if we find anything else, yes, SLS rolled out to the launch pad, didn't it? Go away, you. Last night, they rolled it out on the crawler. So it's now on pad 39B, I do believe, at Kennedy Space Centre, and it's due to launch on August 29th. And it's going to go to the moon. It's going to take the Orion capsule, and that's going to orbit the moon and come back. I think it's coming back. So, yes, that's very exciting. What's that? Cannibal explosion on the sun is hurling to Earth. That could trigger radio blackouts. Oh, very good. Very good. Moon discovered around asteroid Polymele, I don't know, by NASA's Lucy team. So even asteroids have moons. We've just talked about them in that previous article, haven't we? ISS emergency. Russian cosmonaut told to drop everything and go back in a horrifying warning. The Express. I bet it won't. I bet they said, we've got a problem. Can you go back now? And he went, yes, I can. And off they went. Not a horrifying warning. Asteroid Ryugu contains dust older than the solar system. That's that lozenge-shaped asteroid, isn't it? You just see it there. And they say, it came apart and then reassembled, but in a weird way. And I think, no, it's a spaceship. It's a spaceship. Probably. Plasma breakthrough could let humans live on Mars. Oh, what's that about? Because, I'm like a SpaceX freak. Right, plasma breakthrough, blah, blah, blah. Breakthrough could address climate change on Earth too, and there's Mars. It's wonder that it's independent, innit? Yeah, see. Well, we'll read the beginning bit. A new plasma breakthrough could help humans live on Mars, according to the scientists who made it. Scientists hope to build a system that would help support life as well as make the chemicals needed for processing fuels, making materials, forbidding, and fertilising plants. What does that mean? I don't know. Yeah, very good. I'll leave the link for that in the description, but you've got to sign up, haven't you? Hang on, there's another one there, Daily Mail one. So we'll get rid of the independent one because they're greedy buggers who want your money. Right, scientists invent a new way to produce oxygen on Mars. It's shout Mars. Plasma-based technique could pave the way for future colonisation of the red planet. Bloody pop-ups and stuff. While the idea of sending humans to Mars was once confined to science fiction, NASA hopes it could become a reality by the late 2030s. Oh, Elon Musk will be there in 18 months. He won't. Kidding. One of the main obstacles standing in the way is a lack of sufficient oxygen on Mars. Well, there's hardly any, is there? Hardly any of anything in the atmosphere of Mars. And they keep going on, we can terraform it. I think, no, you can't. It's too small to hold on to a substantial atmosphere. But it used to have one. Yeah, but I probably wouldn't have been able to breathe it. One of the main obstacles, I've just read that. However, scientists have invented a new plasma-based technique to produce and separate oxygen within the Martian environment. The system could not only play a key role in developing life support systems, but could also be used to process fuels and create building materials and fertilizers on Mars. There's some pictures. There's nice artwork. Mars's atmosphere is primarily made up of carbon dioxide, which can be split to produce oxygen and carbon. However, two big hurdles stand in the way of producing oxygen on Mars. According to the researchers from the University of Lisbon, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Sorbonne University, Eindhoven University of Technology, and the Dutch Institute for Fundamental Energy Research. First, the decomposition of carbon dioxide molecules to extract oxygen, said Dr. Vasco Guerra of the University of Lisbon, an author of the study. It's a very difficult molecule to break. Second, the separation of the produced oxygen from a gas mixture that also contains, for example, carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. We're looking at these two steps in a holistic way to solve both challenges at the same time. This is where plasmas can help. Plasma is the fourth natural state of matter alongside solids, liquids and gases. It contains free charge particles such as electrons, which are light and easily accelerated up to very high energies with electric fields. When bullet-like electrons collide with a carbon dioxide molecule, they can directly decompose it or transfer energy to make it vibrate, Dr. Guerra said. This energy can be channeled to a large extent into carbon dioxide decomposition. Together with our colleagues in France and the Netherlands, we experimentally demonstrated the validity of these theories. Moreover, the heat generated in the plasma is also beneficial for the separation of oxygen. The oxygen produced via this plasma-based technique could be key to creating a breathable environment for settlers. It could also be used as a starting point to produce fuels and fertilizers, allowing settlers to grow crops on the Martian surface. They've also found out that Mars's soil, you could make loads of broccoli. Or grow loads of broccoli, should I say. In addition, the technique could prove useful here on Earth, according to the researchers. How's it going for this? No, not long. By dissociating carbon dioxide molecules to produce green fuels and recycle chemicals, the plasma technology may also aid in addressing climate change on Earth, a statement said. The study comes ahead of NASA's Artemis 1 mission, which is set to launch on August 29th, paving the way for future missions to the Moon and Mars, and it's really exciting. Artemis 1 will be an uncrewed flight test that would provide a foundation for human deep space exploration and demonstrate our commitment and capability to extend human existence to the Moon and beyond, NASA explained. If the Artemis missions are a success, NASA aims to launch astronauts to Mars by the late 2030s or early 2040s. But Elon Musk could be there before you, because that's his goal, isn't it? What was his originally? He wanted somebody on Mars by, 2023? I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening, do you? Another asteroid heading towards us. It says close approach. It won't be that close. What's that? Come terrifying close to Earth tomorrow. Go on, let's see how close. I bet it is. I bet it's like, 1 million miles or something. And I know that's close in cosmic terms, but... where's it going to say? 3.2 million miles. See, I told you. 3.2 million miles close approach. I don't know. It's close approach. I want it bloody seen as streaking across the sky. That's a close approach. Jupiter's ice moon Europa probably has upside down underwater snow. I'm sure it does. I don't even know what that means, and I can't be bothered reading it. Right, we'll leave it there. I will add them two sciencey stories to the description below if you want to read them for yourself. So we'll leave it there. So I'll get rid of this this thing here. I've too many things in me doofer, if you know what that means. I've got like a scrolling thing that's got all my things that you can see on screen. Me, hello, and my logo. how do I work it that way? No, it's that way. Yeah, that way. My logo over there, and that thing up there in my background. It's all on this little list of things that you can make appear or disappear. And I've got too many things now for all the different things I do, like I don't know. Is that going to appear like that? And what else have I got? And that. If I do my Star Wars reviews, I've got all this stuff, and there's getting to be too many now. And that. Hey, I've even got a thing for another webcam there. Not that my other webcam's plugged in, but I've got hopes that one day, my mate, I mentioned earlier, Ed, if you're watching, might join me one day, and we'll talk about this stuff together on the show. Instead of just listening to me droning on. You can listen to him probably getting angry at stuff. Of course, he's very passionate, is my mate, Ed. Anyway, right, but not about me. Going back to the lovers thing, it's not happening. Right. We'll leave it there. Right. So, as always, don't forget, like and subscribe, and like, and share, notification bell, drop a comment, all that stuff. You can see me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. Just search for That Old Yorkshire Geek. I can't remember the at. I think it might just be Old York's Geek or something like that. I can't remember what it is. And it's on Facebook as well. Got a Facebook page, That Old Yorkshire Geek. You can look on there. And that's about it, really. Right, so, wherever you are in the galaxy, if you're on an asteroid or whatever, that's hurtling towards us, jump off just before it hits, you'll be fine. So wherever you are in the galaxy, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see thee.